Halacha Yud Aleph in the laws of reading the Shema. So הייתה תשואה בגומה עומדת סנדלו על הגומה וקורא. So now if he found that there was tzuah, was feces inside a hole, so he puts his foot on top of the hole and then he can read the Shema. But he cannot be touching it with his foot. Or with his shoe. There was just a little piece that was so very small, he can just go and spit on it so that he will like remove it from there, and he can read the Shema. If he had a little bit left on his hand, so we know that a lot of those halachot, we're thinking, why are we learning them? Because Baruch Hashem, now we have everything, water as much as we need. We have bathrooms, we have tissues, everything we need. We have to understand the whole idea here behind it is we have to make sure that the place that we're reading the Shema is going to be a place where it will smell good, and it will not be a place that will have anything that will be disrespectful for the reading of the Shema. So I think let's say there's a person went and he wiped his child, and now there's a little bit of residue on his hands. So the person will be allowed to go and read the Shema. Why? Because if they do not have a bad smell and they're so small and they're already dried up, that it's not going to be considered like anything, and you can make the Shema. אבל אם אתה במקומה אף על פי שאינה נראית כשהוא עומד הואיל ונראית כשהוא יושב אסור לקחות עד שיקנח יפה יפה מפני שהצואה לחה היא ויש לו לה ריח רע. So when do we say that? When it's not at its place. But if it's in its place, meaning that when the person goes to the bathroom, it's in the place. אף פי שאינה נראית כשהוא, even if a person cannot see it when he's standing up, but when he's sitting down it can be seen. So he has to clean himself very properly, because it's the tzoa is like liquid, and therefore it has a bad it's moist, and therefore it has a bad smell. And also a lot of the Goanim said that a person should not read the Shema if his hands are mitunafot, are going to be also dirty. That's why you should always clean your hands before you read the Shema. Okay, I have
a question.
Yes.
So I heard that if someone has anything on him left, let's say he's in a wet off your liquor or whatever, that he's not supposed to go pray at all, just until he's clean. Like if there's a bit on him, then he's unholy. He's not fit.
It's not unholy. It's just
like
not. It's not tamid. It's just not. It's not proper. It's like now you're going to go in front of a king, and now are you going to be dressed like a bum? No, so you're going to be dressed a certain way. You're going to make sure. Now, if you smell bad, you're going to make sure you're going to take a shower before you go see the king. You're going to act a certain way. So now you're saying the Shema. You think that Hashem is your Hashem servant. So now the minimum should be that there's no bad smell around you, and that you're clean, your hands are clean, and that you should do. And that's also for the Amidas is also the same thing. That but one thing in the morning is that in the morning we can wash our hands and say the Shema. Let's say we're going to be late. So if let's say we wash our hands on our covers, this would work, because there it's about Tumah, right? In the morning it's about the Tumah,
okay.
But during the other times it's not about the Tumah. It's just about having your hands clean.
Just to be like respectfully clean.
No, I mean to be actually clean. So meaning if let's say you know for sure your hands didn't touch anything, then you don't have to wash your hands again. But the custom is to always go back check, because if you didn't like if you had this chadat, right, you did not have proper concentration, you don't know where your hands touch. Sometimes if you touch a place that was sweaty, or if you whatever the case, maybe you touched someone who didn't wash his hands, didn't do anything, so all those things. So that's why we're going to be careful to also wash our hands before doing the Shema, or before doing the Amida also. So if there's a bad smell, a person has to go 4 amot, so around 2 meters, till there's no more bad smell. And if there's still a bad smell, even after 2 meters, he has to go till a place where there won't be any bad smell. And a place, and if it does not have a natural source. For example, if someone, let's say someone he's next. So for example, someone who let out, let's say, a gas, so you would have to move till a place where you cannot smell it, so you can go and do the Shema. Now, if it's going to be a grab, meaning that's like a place, like a pot of rei va'avid shel mimei raglaim, or a chamber where it's used to do miraglaim. There's like a specific space for that. So we call it Kriyat Shema Kenegdan. So next to those like pots, where it's used for the,
Or it's
there's more buckets.
the hands or stuff like that.
No, it was more for buckets. No, it was more for the bathrooms. So buckets for the bathrooms. So it's forbidden to read Kriyat Shema next to them.
That's why.
Yeah, meraglaim is that.
It's that. Okay.
Yes, you're right. So asuli called Kriyat Shema Kenegdan. That be she'en man klum. Even if they have nothing inside, let's say they're perfectly clean, and they do not have a bad smell, because you consider like bathrooms, and therefore it will still be asur. So now if there's a tzoa, right, that's on top, it's floating on top of the water, it's going to be forbidden to read the Shema next to it. And the mouth of the pig is going to consider like tzoa. So if you have a pig in your house, you cannot read Shema or do the prayer. You can't pray in the house. Well, as long as he's going to be next to you.
No, let's say like us now, we have like a basement right in the house. So let's say there's a pig in the basement and someone's upstairs. He can't do Shema?
No, then he would be able. But I mean, if let's say the pig is in the same room, even if he just took a shower, it doesn't work. Everything is always problematic. Because the pig, you have to know, he eats everything.
It's the most dirty animal in the world.
It is, but also let's say, let's say you just threw out the trash of your newborn baby. He's gonna go eat it. He's gonna make kiddush.
And he'll roll in it.
Exactly. So it's disgusting. So that's why it says the pi hazir is kitzu'u v'dami v'asul likol kenegdo. So we need to read Shema next to him. Until you go and you remove yourself from Amot, and there's also no smell. Right?
Yeah.
So now let's say you're walking, because we said that you say Shema, but then you're walking because you have to go somewhere. So we said that you said just Shema with the kavanah, then you continue. You try as much as you can have kavanah, but you can continue on your way. So now let's say you walk next to a spot where there's a garbage can, or there's a bad smell. So you cannot put your hand and then continue reading. Rather, what you have to do, you have to stop reading until you pass that place. And also someone who let out a gas, he should also stop, and because before we said, I think it was if let's say I think someone's friend, right, or someone next to him, if he himself did it, he should wait till the smells goes away.
I have a question. This is a question that I should have asked very early on, but I just remembered about it now. Is that, does this apply to all bad smells or just specific bad smells? Because there's a lot of different bad smells from stuff that aren't considered like garbage. Let's say, let's say that you walk by a street and there's foods that smell really bad. Like it's borderline like this, like gross.
No, so here, that's what we said in Yud Bet. If there's a ra, right, there's a bad smell, but it has a substance, meaning you know where it comes from. Let's say it's like something that's rotten or moldy, and it's like really like sometimes even somebody can be like something that's unpleasant, but it's not a bad smell, but it's something, it's a bad smell, it's like a garbage, then you should also move yourself to how much from there.
Okay, but here we're like specifying from something that's something that's more closer to the garbage or like defecation, something like that. It's not more towards stuff that are unpleasant to you.
No, it's not.
Because there's stuff that are very unpleasant. Some people that for them it stinks very badly. You know what I mean? Like for them, they're uncomfortable to be in that smell. So would that be, you know what I mean? Like, is it like subjective, or is there like an objective thing of what?
I understand. It's a good question. So far here, it seems that it's more like the general things that people. But I would say that maybe also the idea, if for you it's not covered because it's such a bad smell, then you should also not. You yourself, you should move from there, right? So I think this would be more the answer. But then also, I don't think if if let's say it's a normal, let's say you don't like lavender, you can get a horrible smell.
Okay, so
So it would not be. I don't think it would be asur to read the Shema there, right?
okay. It's just
Maybe
better because for yourself. you
exactly
give
for
like a
yourself, so
kavod.
you know it's not. But at the same time, since it's not a bad smell, it's only for you. Then it will not go in this category. Yud Gimel. So then
No,
okay.
now we're at
Yud
Vav.
Dalet. We said no. Yud Dalet, the last line.
Oh yeah.
עד שתחלי רשם וחוזר כזאת. וכן בדברי תורה, and also for דברי תורה, you have to be careful, and also for קריאת שמע, and also for תפילה, and also for ברכות. I checked also for ברכות, those things apply, so I have to be also careful. כזה רוח מחבר אף על פי שמפסיק לקראת שמע, אינו מפסק לדברי תורה. So if now someone's friend passed the gas, so a person can still do a person can still read Kriyat Shema. No, he cannot read Kriyat Shema, right? Like we said, he has to move away, but he can still learn Torah.
Okay, so another question, quick. Let's say that you're at home and the garbage hasn't been changed yet, okay, and it smells. So as long as you smell it, you can't pray at
Right.
home.
No, so that's why you go 2 meters away.
No, I'm saying
and
if let's say
yourself.
you smell it, like wherever you go upstairs, you smell it.
Yeah, if
Then you have to throw it.
No, if it smells and you can't, then you won't.
You got to get rid of it first. Make sure it smells
of course,
good.
Of course, yes. That's why. Also, it's interesting because you see this, even if those halachos from the Gemara is like it's very nogea, especially with kids.
Yeah. It applies
always
today
happens.
very
You grab a kid,
much.
your kid is
very.
You have to be very careful with this. So then also one more thing is that also why is it that for Torah you're allowed to go and you're allowed you don't interrupt for Torah, but for the Shema you can interrupt.
I would say it's because one, you're like facing Hashem and you're like talking, you're like praying towards Hashem, and one, it's just with yourself that you're like learning. It's like it's you.
Oh, like if you're learning
your
knowledge,
knowledge,
in your head.
it's like what you're learning. While the prayer, it's like it's just like how you said that you're going in front of a king. So in front of a king, you want to make sure that everything is respectable. But when it's for yourself,
no. But the problem with this is that all the learning of Torah is the Kedusha, is the holiest thing is in Torah.
No, it's holy, but it's not being presented in front of a king.
No, but so the thing is that even for the laws of reading Torah, we also have all those laws that apply. So the thing here, the answer that Rashi brings is that a person can leave the room to recite the Shema, but if someone has to go and leave the room to learn, he can't because he has to bring all his books, the whole. So it can be a lot of.
I understand.
And also another case, the Shulchan Aruch Harav, Chabad, right? He brings that it's also beyond your control. So then you cannot interrupt yourself from learning just because something is beyond your control. If now someone reads Shema in a house, and he's not sure if there's any miraglaim or tzoa, so it's still allowed for him to read. But if he was reading next to a pile of garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then in the pile of garbage, it doesn't always necessarily smell so bad, right?
Yeah.
So there's no, let's say wasn't any
contain the smell, you don't smell it.
Right? No, sometimes it's nothing. It was a paper, it was cartons, it was boxes,
construction stuff. Whatever,
sometimes nothing. So he's not sure if there's two or not, or if there's not, you should not read right? Because we all know that a garbage place is a place where you can have a place that will contain feces and.
Okay, so then over here it says it says soa. So that means what there's like something that's like a feces or like urination or stuff like that, right?
Right.
Or it's like specifying that it's not just garbage specifically, because a lot of stuff, if you break a table, now it's garbage.
No, right, exactly.
Okay,
But if it's a safek meraglaim, then even ashpa will be permitted to read. Right, because it's only the problem. There will not be like a problem. The Raita will be only a problem from the Rabbanan, who are more lenient, because it's only when a person is actually urinating that he will not be able to say Shema or learn Torah. But if it's next to him, but now if there's a doubt, then we can be more lenient. If it's next to him, then we said that you should turn away when there's all those different things. But it's not as מחמיר אז צועה. ט"ז, כשם שאסור לקרוא כנגד צועה ומרגלים עד שיחי כך אסור לקרוא כנגד ערווה שיחזיק פניו. So the same way it's forbidden to read next to the tzoah and the meraglaim, it's also forbidden to read next to the erva. What is erva? To nakedness. So a person should turn away. אפילו כותי או קטן לא יקחה כנגד ערוותן אפילו מחיצה של סוכרים לצגת עויל והוא רואה אותה אסור לקרות עד שיחזיק פניו. And even if it's a kuti, even if it's a goy, or if it's a katan, it's forbidden to read Shema in front of them, even if there's a glass separating between them, and they can still see through. Right? You can still see through the glass. So it's interesting. So for the girls, as at the age of 3, and for boys is the age of 9. So until that age, you can see the Shema in front of them if they're naked. If not, then it will be asur. And also the whole body of a woman is considered erva, right? All the body that is usually covered. So that's why, let's say now a woman does not have her arms covered, or she does not have many opinions is her hair covered. Many opinions. If there's some different things that are not covered, so a person should be careful to turn away and to say Shema, or to say to do everything Sheba Kedusha, to turn away and not be facing at the erva. Also this also includes his wife. And if there's even a tefach of her body that's uncovered, you should not read Shema facing her. So a tefach is this, right?
Here when he says a tefach, he's saying that even if it's as little as a tefach, like meaning which is like the way that I would see it is that he means that if anything is showing, that he's saying even as little as a tefach, you just give a measurement, but even it would be even a centimeter or an inch, that's too much.
No, because in general, let's say the hand shows from here. So this would be okay because here you have to cover under the elbow, right? So then this would not be a place that's usually covered. Let's say here there's a neck, but here from the neckline has to be usually covered. Then if it's here, then it will be a problem. Right? So everything that's supposed to be covered is
but my question is, if now he's saying like he's just giving like a tefach, he's just saying that, but it means that it's really like
no, he's saying that even if there was one tefach that was uncovered, let's say here. Oh, you're saying that even if it was only 1 inch, it should also be
no, because I'm saying that here he's just saying it like in like a figurative way, that like yes, it's that it's like even as little as a tefach, you know what I mean? Meaning that even in such a small amount.
So actually the Rama is going to be like that. The Rama says that even less than a tefach is
because that's what it seems like from the understanding of that like wording, like the way that it's like a phrase.
Same way it's forbidden to read in front of the erva of other people, it's also forbidden to read in front of his own erva. Right? So if a person is naked, he can't say Shema. He cannot read Shema when he's going to be naked until he covers his private part. If now he had a belt that was covered, or like he had like something that was covering him with skin, animal skin, or sack, or with sack on matnav on top of his
private area.
No, yeah, exactly, on top of his like comment on dit ça? Sur ses hanches. So even if the rest, like he doesn't have a shirt on and the rest of his body is without clothes, he can still say the Shema. But this as long as his heel does not touch his private part. So now let's say, for example, someone in boxers would be able to say the Shema. There's also a question if it's covered or not. Then there's another issue for that. But let's say not in the place where I don't know, a person goes to bed, so he covers himself with the cover, and so there's different things. But let's say in Mikaradin, from reading the Shema, it won't be a problem. If someone sleeps with a cover, and he's naked, so he has to put the talit under his heart, right? Because the separation. That's why, for example, Chabad. Right, or not Chabad, only the Hasidim, they put the gartel. Yeah. So the gartel is to separate between the bottom and the up. So here you have to separate between the heart and the private part, and therefore that's why if let's say people used to sleep naked, so they used to put a cover on their belly and under their heart, so there would be a separation between the two. So he says, they should not put the cover till his neck, because if he puts till his neck, then his heart will see his private part, and it's going to be as if someone is reading without having any separation between the two. If you have two people not sleeping in the same cover, so everyone's still forbidden to read, because as long as there's there's no separation with the cover between the two. So let's say there's one cover and they're both sleeping, and also we have to remember also back in the days that they only had one set of clothing, right? They have a few, let's say 5 sets of clothing for the whole year.
Yeah.
So it was not, so they used to sleep naked because it would wear out the clothes. It was not made today exactly with the right. So if you sleep with it after, so they would sleep naked, and therefore therefore to say the Shema, they would have to have the cover that's also separating between both of them, until they cannot touch each other. Until they don't touch each other at all. But if he was sleeping with his wife or kids, or the people of his household, since his body is considered like since their bodies is considered like his body and they're like one, and he does not have any, like, he's not affected even if he's touched by them, because he's so used to being around them. So even though he's touching them and they don't have clothes, then he just turns on the side and he reads the Shema, and he puts the cover under his heart and he reads the Shema. So until when are they considered kitanim for this inyan? So until the boys will be 12 years old, and one day, and the girl will be 11 years old and one day. And this applies when the physical characteristics will be like the characteristics of adults. Like it's written in the verse, right? So the breasts have to be developed, and the tzimeach, the hair for puberty also have to be developed for them to be considered like they're considered grown, and therefore it will not be any more. There will be problems of snoot, right? I mean, this I'm talking with family members. And then you cannot read the Shema until there will be the talit that will be separating between them. Okay, but now if let's say she did not have the let's say the boy and the girl did not have the physical attributes of grown-ups, then you can read the Shema with the girl next until she's 12, so until Bat Mitzvah, so from 11 to 12, because this is like the time period, and then with the boy it's from 12 to 13. But once he's Bar Mitzvah, even if he did not show the signs, it will still be.
So now we're seeing like 12 and 11 only if they show signs of
puberty, exactly. Okay, פרק ד' הלכה א', נשים ועבדים, it's good?
Yes.
Okay, נשים ועבדים מותנים פטורים מקראת שמע. So women, slaves, and kids are פטורים from reading the Shema. מלמדים את הקטנים, right? And why are they pturim? So I have to teach you a very good, important principle. There's a principle in Avodah Zarah. It teaches us that, and also in Masechet Chagiga, that women and slaves are exempt from all the mitzvot shazman grama. Anything that's dependent on time, women are exempt, right? So that's why, for example, they're not going to put tefillin, they don't put tzitzit, they don't have to pray 3 times a day. There's a lot of different things that they don't have to do. They don't have to read the Shema, right? That's chazak. Nashim v'avadim pedurim. They're patur from Kriyat Shema. Why? Because it's dependent on the time. Once in the morning, once at night. right? So since
except for the only one where it's like or it's like a dependent on time, that they must do is on Shabbat. It's the exception.
So Shabbat is different because Shabbat is a aseh and lo ta'aseh. So even if the Yom Tov, so anything that's a positive commandment, because women are obligated in all the negative commandments.
Yeah.
So 365 negative commandments. So for example, all the forbidden relationships, all the Shabbat, all the kashrut, all those things where there's love. It says that if you do this, you get. So they're obligated in this. But the positive commandments, they're only obligated in 7 commandments, right? So all the rest are not commanded in. However, for Shabbat, why are they commanded? Because it says you have to keep Shabbat, and then it says do not transgress, do not transgress Shabbat, right? So then, since there's a lav, then she's obligated. But if let's say there was no lav, she would not have to do Shabbat.
Okay.
But that's
Very
why exactly.
interesting.
Yeah, so that's what she has to do. Okay, so that's the rule. Also, you have to teach the children to read it at the proper time in the morning and at night, and you teach them to do the brachot before and after, so that you will teach them to do the mitzvot, right? The mitzvah of chinuch. If a person is preoccupied with a mitzvah, right, then he is exempt from doing kriyat shema. So therefore, a chatan who marries a betula, a virgin, is exempt from kriyat shema until he has relations with her, because his mind will not be freed. His mind will not be free from preoccupation until it will make sure that she is betula, right? But before he marries her, that she tells her, yeah, she's good, but now he's scared. So the husband, he's going to be until he goes home with her.
So basically, it's like he's getting married, the chuppah and all that. So you're saying then?
Yeah, then exactly. Okay. So then that night he doesn't have to say Shema because he's preoccupied by the fact to know if his wife is really a betula or not, because he will only find out that night, right?
But if he knows beforehand.
No, then if he knows, then it doesn't. But nowadays, that's what we say. Nowadays, everyone still does it because it's also not. Nowadays, everyone.
Because it's humiliating, also. Is that it? Like if someone knows that, like if let's say you see him do it because he knows, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. There was something like this for humiliation. If they said that because on the ketubah you have to write also there's a value. No, there's a value on it.
Oh yeah, that I know. Okay.
So if let's say she's a betula, she gets $200
million.
I guess she gets yeah, the people who have no intentions to ever pay a penny.
Yeah.
That's why you put normal amount. So but not, you have to know there's two places where she claims it. She claims it when she gets divorced, but also when the husband dies, she's the first to get any money from the heritage. Before it goes to any kids, let's say she has $1 million, so she'll get $1 million, and then whatever's left gets split amongst the kids. So anyways, here, so he has this mitzvah. But not if he was with her until Motzei Shabbat and did not have relations with her. He has to read from Motzei Shabbat, right? Because now he became settled with her and he's familiar with her, and even if he did not consummate the marriage. So also, I guess today also, since people know the people that like there would be more like two families, they arrange a marriage, they like each other.
Now people, they know everything about everything,
Yeah, or even no, but I mean, like even if you're close with the person, then it's not, you're not as preoccupied with this, right?
Yeah.
So that's what here the Rambam says. But if let's say after you will not be as nervous, and therefore there's whole idea is, are you nervous or not? So if you're not nervous, you're not preoccupied, then there's the Shema. That's the idea behind it. Right? אבל הנושא את הבעולה אף על פי שהוא עושה במזרח חייב לקרוא הואיל ואנו דרש שמבלבל בדעתו וכן כל הצבע הזה. If a person marries a be'ula, right, so a person who already had relations, then he reads the Shema because there was nothing for him to be distracted about. וכן כל הצבע הזה, in any similar case. הלכה ג' That's good? מי שמדלומד שהוא חייב להתאבל עליו פתאום מקראת שמע עד שיגבנו מפני שאינה תופנה לקחות. If a person has a relative, לא עלינו, לא עליכם, that passed away, and he's obligated to mourn for him, right? There's 7 people that you're obligated to mourn, and you have to do you have to do all the things that are required for the dead. So then you're going to be, the person will be exempt from Kriyat Shema because he's busy now with the burial.
The morning.
And if he was guarding, he was watching the body of the dead. He was guarding it, right? So there's no animal, there's no one who comes and kidnaps the body. So he's watching him. So he will also be exempt from Kriyat Shema.
Would this still apply today?
What?
Because now we don't need to guard the bodies now.
So, but usually we have people, but they do it more for shmira of. Oh, you mean if it would apply that they keep no? So maybe not. I guess if it's in a hospital, if you have nothing to be choshesh about,
Exactly.
then
you're not worried that like
exactly.
an animal's gonna come. You know?
Exactly. Then you would not have to. Then you can say the Shema.
Not that you could say. So then you would have to do the
exactly.
Shema,
Then you have to say the Shema. Exactly.
Yeah.
But now if you have two shomrim, you have one echad meshamer v'ashini nishmat. So you have one that guards the body, v'ashini nishmat, and the second one removes himself in makom acher in another place. V'koreh v'chozer, and he goes back and he reads umshamer v'nishmat acher v'koreh. So one goes out. You have two guards. You have one goes out. He reads his Shema, and then they switch. And also a grave digger who's gonna dig for the dead, for a grave for the dead. It's gonna be exempt from Kriyat Shema.
Okay, so this is it like a grave digger that's like a grave digger of the family of the deceased, or is it just a grave digger in general? Because
no, in general that they have to do it now. Let's say now they're going to bring the body to bury him, so he has to go and undo it and dig it up now. And now it took him 3 hours, and it was the time of Shema. He was patur. You understand?
Okay, but if there's someone that works at a graveyard, then he's doing this like every day. Then what? Then every day he's like patur.
Right, but then it will also, because it goes also with the moment. So when did you start digging, right? So now if let's say because in reality there's a whole shift in time.
Yeah.
So if now let's say every day you have the same job, and then you wake up at 6:30, and at 6:30 you can say the Shema, and it takes you an hour to dig it up. So every day you say the Shema. So it's only if during that time that you were busy to do a mitzvah, so you were doing it, and then you didn't have time to do. You did not have time to say the Shema. So until you finish your mitzvah, meaning that you're patur from the mitzvah, from the Shema, right? So if let's say
if you can do both, you have to do both.
Right, if you can do both, then you have to do both. So you should not take out the dead person to bury him when he's close to the time of Kriyat Shema, unless he was a very great man. Right? And if they took him out and the time of Shema came along, then now they're bringing the body to the burial, right, to bury him. So anyone that's necessary to carry the coffin, right? So the people who are carrying the coffin, the replacement of those who carry the coffin, and the replacement of the replacement, right? Because they used to in shifts. Ben shayu lifnei mita, whether they were before the mita, ben shayu lacha mita, whether they were before the coffin or after the coffin, pituim, they're all going to be exempt. But anyone else who's not required to transport the coffin, it will not be.
He's obligated to still do the Shema.
Exactly, they will not be patur. If they're doing the hisbed and now they're doing the hisbed is the eulogy, right? So they're saying like all the good things about the dead. And the time of Shema came, when the dead is in front of them. So one by one they have to leave, they have to withdraw. And they go and they read the Shema, they go back and they say the eulogy. אין המת מותר לפניהם, כל העם קוראים קריאת שמע, והאבל יושב ודומם לפי שלא חייב לקרות עד שיקבור את מתו. It's not if now the dead was not in front of them, right? Because the previous the dead was in front of them. Then everyone can go and read the Shema, and the avel, the person who's mourning, yoshev v'domem, yes, is stay and remain silent, right? Because he does not read the Kriyat Shema with them. Because he's not obligated to read the Shema until they bury his dead, right? Because he's going to be examined. That's why he doesn't put tefillin, doesn't read the Shema. There's a lot of different mitzvah they will not have to do because now he's preoccupied with the mitzvah of burying the dead. So after the burial, the mourners they go back to receive the tanchumin, the condolences from everybody. So they all go from the place where they all go from the place of the burial, and they form a line to receive the so they do like they put themselves in a row, and they give all the and they receive the condolences. So if now before they get into a line, the people are able to read the Shema, even if they only read one line, then they should start reading the Shema. Even if it's one pasuk, if they cannot have it so quick, right? It's very close where they start the line to give the condolences, then they should not start the Shema. So rather they have to go first, give condolences and console the mourners, and after they have to read the Shema. בני אדם עומדים בשורה פנימיים שאין רואים מפני האבלים פטורים לקראת שמע והרצונים רואים ואינם רואים את האבלים חייבים לקראת שמע במקומן. So there were two lines. There was one line that was inside, and then one line on the outside. So the people that are on the inside that can see the mourners, they have to say, they are exempt from the Kriyat Shema. But those that are outside, they cannot see the mourners, then they have to say the Kriyat Shema. הלכה זין. כל מי שהוא פטור מקרוא קריאת שמע, אם רצה להחמיר על עצמו לקרוא קורא. So anyone who is exempt from reading the קריאת שמע, if he wants to be מחמיר on himself, he should go and read the Shema. והוא שתהיה דעתו פנויה עליו, but this is only if he's not distracted, but he's not preoccupied and he can read the Shema properly. אבל אם היה זה הפטור מלקרוא מבועל, אינו רשאי לקרוא עד שתתיישב דעתו עליו. But if now the person was מבועל, right, he was in panic, he was all confused, then he does not have permission to read the Kriyat Shema until he will compose himself and be good. שתהיה פנויה לקריאה. הלכה ח' כל הטמאים חייבים בקריאת שמע. So anyone who is impure is obligated to read the Shema. ומברכין לפניו ולאחריה. And they have to read before and after. ולאחריה ואין בטומאתן, even if they're still tameh, right? So because a lot of laws of tumah tahara. So everyone who's tameh still reads the Shema. אף על פי שאפשר להן לעלות מטומאתן בו ביום, כל הגויים בשרת ובנידה וזרע ומשכבה וכל זה בהם. So even if they're able to purify themselves that same day. So for example, someone who touched the carcass of an animal, so a sheret, or he touched
a graveyard also, no?
Right. So no. So the graveyard is even worse because graveyard would be tumatmet, right? Because we all touch people or we're close with people that went to graveyards and or they touch a kid or they touch a dead body and they touched us. Yeah. So we're all tameh today. But now we're talking even in the case where the person was not tamitmet, like in the time of the Tamidash, right? You have paraduma. So even in the place where a person can go and purify himself from a state of tuma. Right? So let's say he touched a dead animal or things like that. So he just goes to the mikveh, or he touched a woman when she was nida, or so let's say he touched his wife, right? It's asur. But let's say he did it by accident, or there's different ways even without touching. Also the zava was another type of woman that would make him impure. Umishkava, or he went on and he laid down on the same bed as those people lay down. So all those cases, he can purify himself. So we don't care if he can purify himself. In any case, he can read the Shema, whether he's pure or impure. And Ezra and his Bedin, they made a rule that anyone who is a Baal Keri is not allowed to read the Shema or say Divrei Torah. And I explain, you cannot read the Shema or say Divrei Torah until and he took him out of the klal of the Timin, because we said in general the Timin, the people who are impure, they're allowed to read the Shema or to learn Torah, right? Ad Shetitbod, until they go and they go to the mikveh. Why? The Baal Keri were people who had who they were tameh by having relations. So they had relations with their wives, and then they became tameh because that zera that came out. Mm-hmm. So this doesn't matter if it was chaz v'shalom zera levatala or if it was zera with his wife. The Israel made a ruling that he didn't want the people to be too much with their wives, so it would always be like maybe a bother, or it would be an extra level of effort to have to go to the mikveh every time you went with your wife before you can read the Shema or learn Torah.
Yeah.
It was more for the Chachamim that they will be able to. There will be less time with their wives, and so this was the idea behind it. But but this takana, this decree, did not go across Am Yisrael, right? Because for a takana to apply, it has to be accepted by all Am Yisrael. So if they don't accept it, they don't do it, then automatically, because this is a ruling from the rabbis. So the ruling of the rabbis has to be something that the whole people, everyone can endure and can do, and they accept on themselves, and therefore then we don't change anymore.
Okay.
If they can't do it, then retroactively it gets cancelled out.
Okay.
So it says, and since the majority, not all of Am Yisrael accepted the takana, and the majority of the tzibur did not have the strength to do it, right? Oh, there's no meaning why they didn't go to the mikveh. I didn't do that, so it was very difficult, and therefore the takana was cancelled out. And we already have the minhag that all the Jewish people are allowed to read the Torah and to read the Shema, and even if they're Bali Keri, right? Even the Bali Keri, because Divrei Torah, the words of Torah, they cannot receive Tumah. They always stay in the purity. Right? Because it's written in the verse, "Are not my words like fire," declares Hashem. So this is in Yirmiyahu, right? And since the words of the Torah are fire, so the same way that fire cannot get or receive any impurity, so even the words of Torah cannot receive Tumah. And therefore, even if the person is impure, you can still read the Torah, and you can still learn everything. So the only reason what we were saying before, that a person has to clean himself, is more out of respect, right, for the things that are kadosh, and to be in a proper state of mind to be able to do it. Chazak Baruch.